So today we're going to be talking about the concept of the equal sign, how it works, how I use it in my everyday life, and how it may be helpful to you. So stick around. Thanks. So I talked about how I use a simple math equation to get to the root of issues that I'm having in my life. And so I went over it in the first episode, but I wanted to go over it a little bit more and in even more detail, or at least enough to give it its own episode. And so, the same way 1 plus 2 equals 3, our thoughts and our emotions can equal our actions. And so, in the same way that you can manipulate those numbers to get different results, the example that I used last time, if you were to change the 3 to a 5, then either the 1 or the 2 would have to change, or both of them would have to change. And so in my life, uh, ways that I'm able to use this kind of mindset, for example, uh, with my diet, I have diabetes. It's something that I've struggled with for a few years now, I guess. And I know that if I have sugary snacks in the house and I get hungry, then I'm going to eat it. And then if I eat it, then I know that either my blood sugar is going to go up, my weight's going to go up, or both, right? And so, in the same way that a multiplication problem, say 3 times 3 is really 3 plus 3 plus 3, we can find that these different factors in our life equal results in our life as well. And so these different elements in the problem could be our thoughts, or that could be the solution, right? That could be the end result. Maybe there's this and that that's causing us to have negative thoughts, and then that is causing something else down the line. And so, what I really try to do, and this takes a little bit of uh, self awareness, but find out what it is that you're unhappy with, and then work backwards to figure out what are the thoughts and behaviors and triggers, what have you, that are leading to this undesirable result, right? And so, in another situation that I use this in my life is with my racing thoughts, right? And so, I know that if I allow my brain to think what it wants, that I'm not going to be able to sleep. More than likely, I'm going to go down some kind of conspiracy thinking. I'm going to become paranoid. My insecurity is going to go through the roof, and it's just going to turn into this snowball that's just going to keep building. And so the way that I combat that, like I mentioned, I think in the last episode, I'm at home a lot, and even more so now that the pandemic's going on. And so what I do is I have a smart TV where I'm able to watch YouTube all day. And so as I'm cleaning or doing mundane tasks around the house, I have YouTube going pretty much constantly. And probably like a lot of you, I have a lot of interests. I do photography. Obviously, YouTube's an interest of mine. I enjoy Lego sets. I'm sewing. I'm a musician. I'm a birder. I play golf, etc., etc., right? And obviously, another thing that has been on my mind a lot is mental health and mental wellness, right? And so, what I will do is I will go to a channel or put in something that I'm interested in, and then I just let it play all day. And even though I may not be sitting focusing on the video, I am picking up bits and pieces, and at least it's enough to get my mind thinking about something else, and to prevent my mind from going down these tracks that, once you go down a certain distance, are hard to reel that back in. And so that's another way that I use it. Um, Kind of related with my insecurities. One of the things that I've always dealt with is just insecurity, knowing that I'm not like everybody else. I would often compare myself to other people and find things about myself that in my mind would make me less desirable or less likable or what have you. And it becomes this boulder that you just can't get out of, right? And so instead of that, and then letting that creep up and build, what I do is I try to focus on things that I'm good at, right? I do have some qualities that are good. I have some interests that I'm good at. And so I try to focus on those. And then where I see weakness, if I can, I use my equal sign again to try to minimize those weaknesses, as to not be so problematic for me, right? And so you may ask yourself, well, how can I use this in my everyday life, right? And this really works towards almost anything that I can think of. It works with addiction. It works with negative thoughts, um, insecurities, as I mentioned, that I use it for myself. It can even be used to be proactive if you want to learn certain things. And so, for instance, being a musician, when my first marriage dissolved and I wanted to get back into music, I knew that I had the skills to play music, but I didn't really have a way to do it. And so one of the ways that I did it is to surround myself with other musicians, became friends with people that were in bands, tagged along with them, got a little bit of a break. They allowed me to play during one of their rest periods as one of their shows. And then I slowly built up my repertoire again and became able to play longer shows and do more things. And so you're able to do these strategic things to set yourself up for success, right? And so this is just a simple concept that I wanted to go through. It's nothing super difficult. I find that these concepts being simple is actually helpful. Being able to find where your strategy is, where are your needs, what are your undesirable things, and then building to and away from those things. And so I hope you found this helpful. I am working on another episode. The next episode, which I probably should have done first, is about what to do once you've been diagnosed with something. I know for me that was a very difficult time in my life. I think it's something that I need to talk about, something I should talk about, and something that I think may be helpful for other people out there. So please stay tuned for that. I want to thank you for watching.